This is Mike, NoStressMike.com. I want to talk about something we all do, and that is go to bed. And I've already mentioned in healing, it's all the healing process in your body. It all happens through the night. Your body is set up so it in the daytime when you're awake and you're functioning, your body is set up to perform, and that's what it does throughout the day. Whether you want it to do it or not, it's performing throughout the day. Every time you eat, like I say, your body is working to digest. So I say it takes about 3 hours to digest. That's why I try to get people to wait 4 hours. You eat something, you don't eat anything for 4 hours. This way you allow it to get digested and get through the system, and your digestive system gets a chance to reset and get ready for the next one. And the food's processed and ready to go. And and if you're not digesting food, you are doing something. So this is what I'm saying when I say your body heals at night, because through the day you're always doing something. Okay, now mentally, your brain keeps functioning 24 hours a day. Now, the brain does do a reset through the night, and one of the things that I've done, and I didn't really, a lot of the stuff I do is self-taught, and the reason is I'm back to what I tell people. Education should be when you educate somebody, you are teaching them how to think for themselves, how to make make decisions, how to evaluate, how to that's the part that education should be. It shouldn't be memorizing and all this kind of stuff. In other words, you need to teach the brain to do its thing. And this is why television is so bad. Your brain just goes into zombie land, like that. Whether you're whether you're watching some kind of stupid show on TV, even sports, watching sports on TV. The television itself is not. It's not good for the brain. Now, even when you're watching, like I do, I still not very seldom, but sometimes I'll watch History Channel and maybe some kind of nature shows, and I'll watch movies. And the thing is, when I'm doing that, my brain is involved in the show, whatever it is I'm watching. So it's a learning tool. It's helping me learn and evaluate. It's not an entertainment. I'm not using it as entertainment, such as sports or some stupid show. So the brain has got to be set properly. Now, back to the bed thing. Now, the one thing my wife couldn't understand is how I could go to sleep a lot of times within a minute after putting my head down on the pillow. And she couldn't understand how I did that. And one thing I want to try to, just what I'm trying to get across is when the bed has a certain program that you go through with the bed. And you need to understand the process of how the bed works in your life. And we're talking about the brain now. So the brain, what I would do is I'm functioning all day long. I'm doing things. Okay, me personally, I do my cleaning up and getting all myself, my personal hygiene stuff and all that stuff done in the evenings. And the reason is I'm not rushed. There's no time or nothing, and I can start doing my thing, whatever. Sometimes longer and sometimes shorter. It just depends. And so I do it in the evening. So while I'm doing that, I'm focused on me. And then when I get finished grooming and taking care of myself, and then I will normally I'll get on the internet and I will do either researches on projects that I'm working on, or answering emails, or just doing just all kinds of stuff on the internet, the computer. Then I go to bed. Now this is the important part. When I go to bed, all the time, even when I had my wife, I would go to bed, and if she's in bed, then we would talk. I would discuss ideas. I would discuss things that I've been thinking on, trying to get the other side, something that I'm not thinking about, something I'm missing, and then getting her take on what it is. And I do it on anything. Like I say, it'll be the new relationships I've been making, people I've met, business or friendships, just anything. Like I say, I had total trust in my wife. I knew she wouldn't hurt me emotionally or mentally, and so I knew I could talk to her, and she would give me an honest opinion, not try to sway me to what she thinks is right. She would give me honest ideas. And like I say, so I would question her a lot on stuff, and she would question me. And this is the time that we use to talk to each other and reevaluate my behavior. I never really evaluated her behavior. I questioned it because a lot of times, she's a woman. And one thing I've learned, and I didn't really realize it so much till now I'm single, but all women have emotional needs, and it affects them mentally. And but I'm not picking on women, because men are the same thing. That's what I'm saying. Now I've noticed it since I don't have my wife. But like I say, that's the time that I would do my thinking, is when I'm going to bed. So I would go to bed maybe 30 minutes, at least 15 minutes before I'm ready to go to sleep. Maybe 30, 45 minutes before I'm ready to go to sleep, depending on what's on my mind. And so I would talk it over with her. Okay, now I don't. So now, because I don't have her, so now what I do is I still go to bed. Normally now I go to bed about 2 or 3 minutes before I'm ready to go to sleep. And but it's basically the same thing. After I talk to my wife, then I would allow myself 2 or 3 minutes to think on what it is I want to do the next day. Plan the next day. Have it all set up in my mind, what it is I want to do. And that's for the next day. And think about stuff maybe over the weekend or next week. Put a little bit of thought on that. And then, after I've figured out what I'm going to do, I am set. My mind is set. I'm ready to go to sleep. Then I'll lay back, and then I go to sleep. Like I say, usually within a minute, maybe 2 minutes at the max. And then what happens, your mind keeps working. I've learned a long time ago, even though you hear me talk about I deal with reality, one of the realities is your mind is not in reality. That is a reality. And so what I do is I set my mind thinking, not using the reality. That's when you hear me talk about I do many things, just about everything I do, the odds are against me. And the reason I'm able to do it is through the night, my mind is not into reality. And so it is processing the stuff that I need to do the next day and in the future. So it's processing all this through the night. Now in the morning, before all this, while I'm talking to my wife and we're figuring all this stuff out and evaluating, we're snuggling. We're hugging and kissing, and we've always appreciated our time. And that's even when we had kids. That's why when one of the kids would be sick, her womanly job was to take care of the kid, and I'd go to bed by myself. And you could tell the difference when I didn't have someone to hug on before I go to bed. You could tell the difference when we had the kids. So we really tried to do a lot of hugging, and even we would hug the kids before they go to bed. So the hugging part, the contact, is very important, especially like say before you go to bed or before you go to sleep, and that helps you calm. That helps your body prepare for healing through the night. Like I say, the body slows down and your blood pressure starts dropping. Your liver does all kinds of stuff, but it does this filtering through the night while you're sleeping. But you have to have a good, calm, restful sleep for that to happen. So physically, your body is going through this healing process, and through the night, your mind is preparing you in the physical, in the reality, for the next day and for the next week. So that's why it's important to do this thinking before you go to sleep. Now, once I wake up in the morning, when I had my wife, when we wake up in the morning, the first thing we do is kiss and hug. It's the same thing. We've been given another day. And so we appreciate it. And so we show thanks for each other. Just like we give thanks for each other before we go to bed, we give thanks for each other in the morning. And now you're ready to start the day. And we have the emotional backing of each other once we kiss and hug and start the day. And then I say we're ready to start the day, and I start the day at a run. I mean, I wake up, I do my bed exercises. I even did it when I had my wife. Now I do it more extensively than what I did with my wife. I didn't do it quite so much. Now I do it more. I do a whole lot more exercising now. One thing, I'm older, and like I say, I've got more time. Since I don't have that cuddle time, I use my time to work on my own health. And so I do a lot of stretching and this type of stuff. So I'm ready to start the day and get going. So you see, through the nighttime and the bedtime is an important time in your health, your physical health, your mental health, your emotional health, and your financial health. Because like I say, you can spend more time during the day focused on how do you say it? Getting things done instead of through the day. Well, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? All this stuff is all figured out already, so you get more things done during the day. And this is why I have other projects that I work on. My projects are even money makers, I hope. They're not always money makers when I'm working on them, but I hope I'm learning something. So during the times when either the timing wasn't right, the weather, or whatever it is, I can't do it, that's when I go and work on other projects. And because like I say, there's always something that I have going on that's going to help me improve my life, physically or mentally or whatever, so but anyway, I wanted to bring it to your attention about the importance of going to bed and your time in bed. And as I've already been talking about the emotional and mental health, this is a big part of it. And I say I've never stopped to think about it before, so that's why now I've had to stop and think about it. So I'm just sharing what my views are. This is Mike, NoStressMike.com.